I found someone on TikTok the other day that his name was Flaccid Peener.
Wow.
I don't know where
Can
it
you
came
get
from.
how does that how
I don't-
did you get past that one? I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
Not the peener part, because maybe peener could be a name, but the flaccid part. How do you get past flaccid?
I don't know. I mean, flaccid is used outside of derogatory
I
explanations.
suppose so. It's kind of like when you erect a building
Yeah.
or ejaculate a volcano.
Yeah, yeah.
I suppose so. Welcome back, everybody, to Uneducation. We are here today to talk about more things of which we don't know anymore because our script is gone. We've been going scriptless for a while, Zach.
We have.
We've been doing improv for a while.
And I mean, there was a while where we were strictly going by our script because everything is scripted. Life is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've kind of moved away from it a lot more, which has been really fun. But I'm sure it's getting harder and harder to title these episodes.
Oh, it's terrible to title these episodes. Zach, that was another reason why I was awake for so late last night, because I was doing the thumbnail, not the thumbnail for the one we just recorded. We're being meta again. I apologize. But, hey, believe it or not, thumbnails and videos have to be made about this. This isn't just a natural live stream conversation. I know, crazy, right? Sorry to break the immersion like that. I apologize. But, sometimes I was there last night on this over there, Zach. I was over there. Imagine your boy right here on this chair. This chair right here.
With those headphones.
With these headphones. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to title these last two episodes. I really don't. What did I choose? I don't know. You'll find out. You'll already
tuned
by
and
the
find
by
out.
the time this episode goes up, they'll already know. And they'll be like, wow, Arthur, good job. And I'm like, thanks, man. I really needed that. But it's so difficult. No, what did I choose? For 29, no, I only did for 29. 29 was the one I had a difficulty with, and I don't know what I ended up doing for 30. No, I think 30 is going to be It's Tough to Be an Adult. And then 29 is the economy episode, because that's when we started talking about like businesses and Apple and stuff again. Speaking of Apple, I don't know why I've been doing this, but recently I've been doing like these little mini tech reviews as tweets, right? And this all started, I guess, was doing another tech episode, I guess. I'm down. I'm always down.
Bro, okay. Honestly, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've started feeling more and more inclined to do like reviews and stuff on camera equipment, because I've had a chance, like I've had an opportunity to try out a bunch of different camera lenses and all that kind of stuff. And so it's really good to know where, like, what's good and what isn't, especially when you're talking about like the budget end of camera gear. Because if you find the gems, they're fucking amazing. And I mean, nifty 50, like that's one that you can, we've said this before, you can throw it in a river, toss it in a garbage disposal, slap that bitch on your camera, and then you'll be shooting the best pictures you've ever taken. But I watch a lot of people who review lenses and cameras and all that kind of stuff. And I just sit there and think every single time I watch it, I'm like, I could do that. I could totally do that.
Do it, man. Have some fun. I'm going to be Remember, this is a while ago, but I did a whole building a mechanical keyboard stream.
Yeah.
I'm going to make that into a video.
Hell yeah.
I don't know anything about mechanical. I mean, I know a little. I've watched a ton of videos at this point, but like, I'm watching. I'm like, bro, this looks like a lot of fun. So I did it. I'm gonna make a video on it. I'm gonna be one of those guys, So I'm starting to do a bunch of stuff. I did videos on building computers and stuff, Zach. I'm not no lie detective J2 Sense motherfucker, bro. I'm just a guy.
Yeah.
You're a guy.
I'm a man.
We're just some dude.
Yeah.
We're some dudes, Fuck it, bro. Let's have some fun. Make a review, man. And that in turn might make you start to look into things in cameras that you may not have looked into,
Yeah. And
like
also,
maybe you might start looking into like more specs and stuff to get more accurate, whether you want to or not. But you might just be like doing your thing, maybe writing a script if you're going to do like a kind of an A-roll type of thing, and then you'd be like, oh, you know what, I want to make sure if this is right, and you go and you look up the spec, that type of thing, and then maybe you'll add more things that you didn't think you know, and then you kind of learn along the way, and then you'll learn more about stuff than you did before while engaging into this review that teaches more people. You teach yourself.
Yeah.
It's the cycle of motion of it's a cycle.
It's the cycle of the ocean, the motion,
the notion of the ocean.
Bars. But it's such an interesting situation to be in where I have the capability and I have the resources to be able to do this type of stuff. And it's such a weird thought process because you're sitting there like watching a video that was shot on a camera that you own with lenses that you own, and you're just like,
what am I doing?
What am I doing?
What am I doing right now? I totally get that.
Because it's like, I'm sitting here like, man, I wanna start posting on YouTube like consistent, and then I'm like watching. There's this guy named Christopher Frost. He's a really, really good camera gear reviewer. Like he's reviewed hundreds of different lenses and everything like that, and I go to him for like the sole research for me to buy new lenses.
Good.
Because he is just so thorough with the way that he does it. And I'm not gonna try to copycat if I do ever end up doing something similar.
Hey, we talked about that though already.
Yeah.
Copycatting is fine,
but
if needed to.
Yeah, but using the skills that I've learned over the course of the years of me doing photo video man stuff.
Yeah.
To be able to use him as inspiration and show how thorough I could be with the tools and utilities that I have.
Yes. And you should be fine, I think. I think the best way to know how to make videos is to watch a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
And to watch your favorite YouTubers, your favorite streamers and stuff, and you see how they do it. Like we've always said, and copy them, and take little bits of all of your favorite people, combine it into your own thing, and then kind of play from there. Because you and I, we can tell the difference between a good and a bad video.
Yeah.
And I don't mean bad as in like, I don't know, one person's production quality is better than the other. No. That's not what I mean. I mean the execution wise.
Yeah.
Because anybody can shoot a video from an iPhone and still make it a very good video.
Yeah.
It's
a very interesting balance between all of the different aspects that make a good video. And I don't know how this is how we were, like, I don't know how we got here, but I'm glad
here,
that we're
Zach.
Here. At this point, I should just
Content
stop
creators.
saying that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't even. This is we've as soon as the moment I stopped bringing my iPad here, Zach, was the moment that this show took a turn.
The turn for the tangents. But you and I have both had a lot of really, really good opportunities to be able to not only ingest different types of media, but also be able to create it ourselves.
Yes.
And so you're just throwing stuff over there.
I don't even know where the screwdriver came from. It's just here. I've just been flipping it around and stuff. Sorry, I apologize. Go ahead, keep going.
No,
Zach.
it's fine. It's fine. You're good.
Hopefully I don't accidentally,
Yeah, please don't do that.
I won't. I will not. I trust my flipping abilities, Zach. I flip stuff all the time. You see me at work, Zach?
Yeah.
I'm just flipping shit at work. I'm flipping cups. I'm flipping ladles. I'm flipping blenders.
I'm flipping my shit.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Anyways, but we have had such an interesting experience of not only being able to watch YouTube videos and podcasts and all of that kind of stuff. We've also been able to make it for ourselves. And so for us, it's really easy to tell what a quote unquote good or bad video is. I saw you drop something.
I just stabbed myself.
This is why you shouldn't be around sharp objects.
It's actually pretty dull, actually, because this is an old bit.
The fact that you managed to stab yourself is even more impressive at this point.
No. It's fine. I was just.
But it's cool because there are so many different things that go into making quality content.
I hate my life. I'm so sorry. I keep distracting. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh man. There are so many different aspects that comprise a good video, and it
comprise. What a word.
Oh yeah, word of the day.
That's
comprise.
That's great.
Honors English too. I'm kidding.
That was me.
Yeah, I was in English 101. But you know, there's the content of the video, right? There's the audio quality, video quality, the editing. Sure. There are so many different aspects that kind of come together. And even if one thing isn't necessarily on the same level as the other, like say, you know, you have really, really good audio quality, but the video quality isn't necessarily like top notch, that doesn't mean that it's going to inherently make it a bad video.
No.
It's just if you have enough of the different elements that come together and the one thing doesn't drastically outweigh the other, like we were talking about not too long ago, you know, if your editing is just absolutely on point and the video is shit, then the video is going to end up being shit. It, like, you know, the editing doesn't save the video. And
well, there's a bit of a balance to it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you can tip the scale a little bit. Sometimes, like you said, the video quality can suffer and the audio quality can be better. And, you know, as we've all experienced before, I'd say audio quality is much more important than video quality.
I agree,
at the end of the day, you know, because you can watch a 1440p video if it has really good audio quality, but you can't watch a 4K video of the audio quality shit.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like there are some factors that are more important, and it's up to you to figure that out. And you can watch tons of videos, the whole how to grow from 0 subscribers to 1 million subscribers
in 30 days.
In 30 days. How to in 1 day, overnight. How to this one's just recommended recently to me. I don't know if Google is implying something, but how to stream to 0 viewers and grow. You know, like those. I mean, first of all, nothing wrong with those videos. Those videos, they can be good to watch. I mean, it doesn't hurt. It's, you know, it's not like you're paying to watch those, unlike some other things that, you know, some other things. But, you know, if you're interested and you're curious, you watch it. And then it's just from people who have done relatively okay, and they just have advice to give to you, kind of like what we do. Yeah. And to that extent, that's fine. And they use a clickbaity title and stuff like that. But that will also be part of the advice they give you, because that is part of the game that we're playing as well, you know?
Yeah.
Clickbaity titles, clickbaity thumbnails.
That's totally going to end up being the thumbnail, by the way.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
But I totally 100% get what you're saying. And, you know, they're using those elements that they talk about to entice people in, because, you know, even the critical, skeptical people like you and I, you know, we'll still click on the video because we're like, yeah, no, there's no way that's going to happen. But I kind of just want to see what this person has to say. And, you know, they're just playing the mind games, man. They're just playing the...
Here's the things. I know a lot of people, especially I think people who have been doing content creation since the earlier YouTube days and are kind of in our age group, or even maybe a little older, because, you know, it just depends what age you just ended up YouTube starting in words. Yeah. You know, in our generation of YouTube, I suppose, you know, because our generation, as in the people who were here when YouTube started, you know, so I know there's a lot of criticism from our type of group, where it's like the game has changed a lot. You know, it's no longer, clickbait's always been there, you know, like boobs in the thumbnail, that type of thing. That's, you know, that's an old thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's always been there, you know, and finding ways to click. Here's the thing, Zach. Now that we're really good at technology, this thing that we have in our arsenal called technology, we are no longer like just know what we're doing. Or rather, sorry, we no longer don't know what we're doing. We know what the heck this device is, and we know everything about it, and we know how to use it. It's been so heavily integrated into our lives that it's so natural. It's a second limb, you know? So what that means is that now we're really good at operating it. We're very good at scrolling, Zach.
Yeah.
So if I'm scrolling right now, Zach, how in the hell are they going to find, how in the hell look at how many videos there are, Zach. This is my sub box. Their job now is to find a way, look how fast I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
They need to find out how to make me to stop. Whoa, that's a cool video. Click on it.
Yeah.
They need to do that. How can they do that?
Yeah.
With clickbait with thumbnails, leading titles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's, it's weird. It's when you put it into, when I say it out loud, it sounds so dumb, but it is important. It's the same thing with TikTok. How do, there isn't even a time, you're just swiping. How do they get you to stop?
Right.
Because, I mean, I don't use TikTok personally, but I understand the use case of, or I understand when one uses TikTok, you're just swiping. You just keep going.
Yeah.
And if the first 1 second doesn't matter to you, you swipe. How do they get you to stop? How do they get you to, out of the millions of YouTube videos that I have right here, Zach, the millions of tweets, the millions of all these things, millions of Instagram posts, millions, I don't know, maybe thousands of Facebook posts. I don't know if that's you. Sure. How do they get you to stop?
Mom.
How do they get you to click on their video, not the person in front of them or behind them, above them or below them? How do they do that? And that's the game that they're playing right now.
Yeah. And so, sorry, this is a little bit off topic, but it's still kind of similar to YouTube.
Go ahead, Zach.
It's
derail me.
I'm not gonna try to derail you.
Rail me. I'm just
not on camera. Come. So it's so interesting because whenever Uned posts a video, I'll see it in my sub box. I'll see it in my sub feed. And so I'll be scrolling through, my subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see my face and it'll take a second to be like, oh yeah, that's right. I do a thing outside of my own YouTube channel. I forget about that.
Yeah.
But there's just something super cool about the concept of our faces floating around, like those really cool thumbnails that you made, just kind of floating around on the internet for people to stumble across. And, it's such a hard thing to explain for people who have never created content.
Sure. Well, okay, here we go, Zach. Seeing videos that your parents took of you when you were younger or something like that, or even not even younger, even literally the other week. Maybe you were plastered fucking drunk, Zach, and then your dad took a video of you and you're like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself, hearing your own voice, that's a good one. Excuse me. A lot of people aren't used to hearing their own voice. Yeah. They shouldn't be, because the way you hear your own voice is much different than the way other people hear your own voice. Because the way your voice, if I'm speaking outwards, not with headphones like this, and it reaches your ear, there's a whole science to it. You can look it up if you want to. But, you're not used to the way your voice sounds. So when you hear yourself in video or in audio or whatever, you're like, that's how I sound like? And it catches you off guard because you're not used to seeing yourself within an outside perspective. So when you see your face on a YouTube video, that kind of, what the heck? But here's the thing, Zach, that's for you. That makes you stop. How do I get other people to stop?
Right. And that was a tangent kind of outside of the conversation.
No, that's right.
Just because it was a fascinating thing that I was just kind of sitting here thinking about. But it's so difficult because it can be so individual for a lot of different people. Like a lot of people will stop and click on a video for a number of different reasons, whether it's a channel they recognize, whether it's a topic that they're interested in. Say for example, if you were just kind of scrolling on the homepage and you saw something about season 2 of Demon Slayer, you're like, oh shit, that's cool, and then you'll go and watch it for that reason. And there's no real kind of cut and dry way to make it so that people click on your video. There's ways that you can make it so that they would be more inclined to, but not necessarily a see-all end-all solution to people not watching your video.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where you walk that fine line of how much is too much. The people on the internet and especially on YouTube who just are super weird about the way that they edit their thumbnails and all caps the entire title.
It's okay. For me personally, who has taken classes of these natures, like design classes and stuff, it does bother me sometimes, But at the same time, I need to understand. You have to remember, it's to each their own. And YouTube thumbnails, while it's an art itself, it doesn't need to be. It's a very YouTube itself is a very homegrown platform where anybody can upload. And when you think about that, then you start to kind of dial yourself down, level yourself down to like, okay, you know, this isn't some sort of like art showcase type of thing. This isn't some sort of graphic design is my passion type shit. You know, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the simplest thumbnails gets a click because, I mean, you see, all you need is a recognizable face or a face that makes you think of a certain, or rather not think, well, sure, think, but a face that makes you intrigued. These type of things are important. And sometimes, yeah, and you're looking at these thumbnails and you see the thumbnail you made with your 5-6 years of graphic design, and then you see some guy with a zoomed in face and like really big text, and then they get a million views, and you're like, man, what the heck? But it's not to say that your thumbnail was bad, Zach. It's just, you know, the game is different.
Yeah.
The game you're playing is different.
And I mean, you look at my thumbnails and they're not great.
Well,
it's a lot of it has just kind of been just like moments in the video. Like, I mean, you know, sometimes I'll put like a little title in there. I had a ghost pepper, fear bonding, like those types of things. Middle school beef. That was a fun video. You can't even see it, but
there we go.
There we go. Middle school beef. Actually, Ben edited this video together, which is super cool.
3 years ago. Look at your boy.
Look at your boy.
But
wow, that really was probably almost 4 years ago now.
Probably. But
but anyways,
no, I understand because I have to do these things as well. Everybody has to do. If you're creating content on YouTube, everybody has to do these things, you know? And, you know, you start to see titles like, I don't know, How I Almost Died, or this this sniper class will get you 50,000. This, if you use this sniper class loadout in Call of Duty Vanguard, you'll get a nuke. You know? And it's, as someone who has been using YouTube since it started, you know, it's kind of, it hurts a little bit to see titles like this, where before the titles were very direct in what the video was. And, you know, it was like, yeah, this is the video and I'll click on it. But, you know, now, like I said, it's different now. We're swiping so much, Zach. We're swiping so fast. And I don't hate it. I just understand that we're just more used to it now. We weren't used to it back then. Back then, it was just, we were just open to knowing new things, learning new things, finding new people, discovery, new channels. We're always about that because YouTube is this new thing, internet is this new thing, you know, and it's just like, this is cool. I want to know more and more and more. And we still want to know more, but now there was a lot. And now let's say there was like 5 branches of, I'm obviously there's like that's a million, but let's say there's 5 branches of content in 2009 or something, 6, 7, whatever. And then there are the creators in there. Now there is like
5 million,
5 million, and then 5 million creators in each branch.
Yeah.
So it's just too difficult for one person to know stuff. And that's, I mean, that, thank God for YouTube algorithm for just bringing you to random places to put, I mean, YouTube algorithm is the only way you discover things now.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And that's not a bad thing, but it makes it a bad thing for creators who are just figuring it out because if you start YouTube like now, there's no way you understand how the algorithm works. You have to know how, you have to understand, you have to be doing it for a while. You have to be watching YouTube for a while. Algorithm, if you don't know how coding works, like me and you know, it's difficult to grasp what an algorithm even means.
Yeah.
How can I make how can I start YouTube and enter others people's recommendations? How is that possible?
And the more you think about it, the more you realize that there's no possible straightforward answer to that.
No, there isn't.
Because like we've been talking about, you know, there's 5 million different topics on YouTube. There's probably even more than that, you know, and then there's subcategories to the categories, and then those subcategories have subcategories. It's like it becomes such a tangled web, if you will, of just so many different things that all started with one thing. And you know, the different webs of like, you know, gaming. You know, there's like tutorials, let's plays, you know, playthroughs, just a whole bunch of different things just inside of gaming, right? And then in those different categories of gaming, you have, you know, tutorials, you have Easter eggs, you have so many different types of things that
funny
are funny moments, yeah, that are inside the topic of gaming, but they're all within their own different subcategories of gaming. And that's just gaming because, you know, that's the stuff that I've watched. And then you talk about tech, and then you talk about anime, and then you talk about, you know, like cars, and there's so much.
And there's a lot of creators within that.
Right.
And it's like, how do you get your channel, a channel like this, Zach, that we're doing right now, you know, how do we get ourselves out there?
Breaking the fourth wall.
You know? And it's obviously, as we explained before, it's not something we care about that much. We're here for fun, you know? We're here for a good ride. We're here for a chat. We always chat anyways. Why not have a couple cameras and lights and microphones pointed at us, as a couple people might want, you know?
Yeah.
Why not? But it's you know, because we are deciding to do this and put it on a platform like this, we are playing this game. A little bit, not in religious. I mean, I play the game for fun because I find it interesting.
Yeah.
And I've always said, you know, like I find things like software interesting, and I find things like AI and algorithm. I find it very interesting. You know, ads and marketing, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, it's always intrigued me. And frankly, even if this is something that doesn't take off, it's whatever, but it's taught me a lot, and it's continuing to teach me more. Yeah. So that's why I do this. And of course, to hang out with you, of course, and have a chat, talk about shit. Always down, you know?
Stuff and things and things
stuff and
and
things
stuff.
and things and stuff.
Yeah. And I totally understand the intrigue with all of these different things, because this just gives us a valid reason to learn more about it.
Yes.
And it gives us a really good opportunity to be able to be in, not only in that ecosystem, because you and I both are kind of in our own different things in our own ways, a little bit, but also, you know, this is a little fever dream that you and I had, you know, like a year ago, 2 years ago. And now we're kind of at the point where we can make something out of it. And I think that that's super, super cool. And the fact that we are able to understand how it works even before going into it, and understanding like we're entering the game now, you know, the content creation game. Like, this is the most consistently anything of mine has ever been posted on the internet.
Same for me, honestly. Like, I used to, way back, like young Anuki days, I used to upload weekly.
Yeah.
Call of Duty edits. How in the hell? What? But that's what I did. And, you know, that was great. That was a lot of fun. And it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I mean, editing something like this, freeform, no edits, really just making sure that we don't accidentally show, if we show something bad, I got it. You know? But something like this where, I mean, I like to think, maybe if I'm allowed to say so myself, I think this, you know, we're pretty entertaining for the most part. You know, I like to think that the conversations that we have, the way we execute these voices into the microphone, you know, is enjoyable for the most part. And I know it is because, you know, a lot of people, you know, a good handful of people are enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
So to me, that means that we're doing a pretty good job. And the only editing I ever do is add audio processing.
Yeah.
To make sure you don't hear this AC in the background very much.
Right.
And to make sure that our voices are louder, but not too loud.
Yeah. And when you talk to those people, and there's something that you've been working on for a really long time, and you get a little bit of recognition for it, like, hey, you guys are doing a good job. I think it's really awesome. And like, I have a couple friends who religiously sit and watch the show, and it's just like, that's super cool. Awesome. I love that. Also, why do you have so much time on your hands?
Hey man, I've been listening to podcasts all day, bro. Podcasts are fun.
But yeah, joking aside, it's really, really fulfilling to just be able to do something, create something, and then to be able to have people enjoy it. And even if it's not very many people, I was saying in the very beginning, if we have like 3 people who consistently watch the podcast, I'm going to be stoked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, obviously I want people to enjoy it, but I'm here because I enjoy doing it. And if we were 2 out of the 3 people who are enjoying the show, I think I would totally be okay with that. And my mom.
Yeah. I'm just proud of what we've created. I'm proud of the quality and something, as I've mentioned before, we've got it down to a science where we could just get everything set up. I mean, you already know what's up, and this isn't even your house.
Yeah.
You just walk in and start turning on the lights and the cameras and stuff. At this point, you do more setup than I do because I'm just waking up. And even then, I'm proud of what we have. And the only way we can make it look better is if I pull out like the paint bucket and shit and the drill. I don't want to do that. So to that extent, not pushing that boundary yet. Still, I don't want to do that to this room. It's not technically my room,
Yeah.
But so with that in mind, the next step below it, I'd say I've done a really good job of what we've done. I mean, before I really enjoyed it. And then I moved these monitors and bullshit over here and rotated it, spent a lot of time on it. And now this looks a lot nicer. Now it's no longer as distracting. And now I'm here doing all the shit, So
all the gestures and things.
All the gestures and things. And it's great. I no longer, my hand on the monitor. I've never did that, I don't think. But, it happens. But I am just proud of what I've created personally. And, that's like, it's like when you're making, I'm sure not a lot of people have gone to video production classes, but even like in high school, I took one and like, in that case, the only people that are watching it is my teacher and my classmates, my peers,
Yeah.
That's it. But I'm so proud of what I created, I'm so proud of this project I shot and directed and scripted and voiced and all these type of things and got actors, my buddies, to act in it and say these lines and, have a time. And I'm very proud of what I've made. And even if only like my class and the video production class in our high school was like, I did it twice and there's like 10 people max.
Dude, it was so cool.
It was great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The types of projects that you would work on in those types of classes were just so fun. Like I took one my freshman year and it was so fun.
It's so silly and it's so, but it's like you're a bunch of high schoolers. Like, what are we going to do? And it's kind of fun because, when we're in high school, back in our day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we were entering high school and stuff, we had this video production class. And before, what it did was teach, hey, do you want to test out this type of thing so maybe you can be interested in the film industry?
Yeah.
That's probably changed. Now it's like, how can it be if you wanted to make a YouTube video?
Right. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of what it's become now.
That's not what it's now. I mean, you wouldn't take a video production class when we were in school to do YouTube. That wasn't the point.
Yeah.
But now it's like, this could totally teach me how to operate a camera. Although the cameras that they use over there, I mean, maybe it's better, but it's kind of like the handheld. Not that they're bad or anything, but it's for learning. But they don't really teach you to adjust manual stuff. So you just auto and you're using Final Cut Pro, which is not terrible, but it gets your foot into the door of content creation.
Yeah, and getting that hands-on experience of being able to hold a camera, shoot a video. I forget to turn the thing. Go ahead, just keep Anyways, I'm the only one who saw that, but
yeah,
being able to have that hands-on experience where it's like I have an opportunity to be able to come up with an idea, write a script, film a video, edit the video, and do all of the things that would go into making a video or go into making a short film or something like that. That's when you get really, really good opportunities, because at that point you're only limited by your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And
as we explained before, sometimes the best equipment isn't going to create the best content. It's up to your creativity. And when you take a class like that, like a video production class in your high school or whatever, you're given the bare minimum. You're given a camera, you're given a mic, a boom arm.
Yeah.
Let's go. You're given a computer. and editing software.
Right.
You're given your tool. The tools are laid out. Here it is. Here is your screwdriver. Here is your hammer, and here are some screws and your nails, and here's some wood. What are you going to make out of it? What are you going to do? And at that point, that's where creativity happens. I mean, they'll give you like, prompts and stuff, what to do and that type of thing, and because you're supposed to learn along the way,
Yeah.
And that's fine. They should be doing that, But at that point, for me, who's been editing Call of Duty for about a couple of years before that, I'm like, bro, I'm chilling. So at that point now, I did something very radical. Is that the word? I don't know. I went from editing radical, brother. I went from editing Call of Duty clips to editing real life people and editing the films, if you will. Yeah. With what I had, of course, and with Final Cut Pro, of course, and a couple cameras and a boom arm, But
boom arm, can't forget the boom arm.
Can't forget the boom arm. That was the first time I've ever worked on something like that at the time. Never had before.
I love the Chef Boyardee video. Like I know
that wasn't even for that class. That was for calculus. But I love that video.
I know that we've already gone down that rabbit hole before, and we've already showed the videos.
I'm showing it again. I love that video. I'm so proud of it. It's the embodiment of teenager Anuki. Oh my gosh, I love it. But yeah,
having that opportunity to just make something cool and be able to be creative, like that is so funny. And that Chef Boyardee video is just so funny.
It's literally
Anuki chef.
I love this video so much. It's so stupid, but it is the embodiment. It's like there's a bunch of us having a good time. I had to censor all these plates, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it before. God, that was so annoying. I wasn't very good at the time, and also my computer wasn't very good. So having to motion track a bunch of fucking plates. Hold on. Look at your boy. Look at that hezzy. Oh my God. Anyways, this scene right here. Look at all of these. On that computer over there, Zach. That one over there. That A10, 8, I think. AMD A8, A10. 8 cores. Not bad. 2016, 17, 8 cores. Not bad, eh? Damn, bro, it took a long time to motion track those, bro. Jeez Louise, it was so slow. But I did it, and I was having so much fun doing it. I was given the materials, Zach, and I was having a time. I was like, well, I mean, this is for a different class, but assuming that I never uploaded anything from that class into my YouTube channel, and they're gone. I think they're in the void. I don't know if I have them anymore. They're probably in a flash drive somewhere, but I wish I could had them. They're so bad, but they were so fun to make because this is a bunch of us, bunch of guys, me, and we're just making videos and we're having a time. We're getting not a lot of people have that opportunity.
Yeah,
not a lot of people, as we explained before. Some people the only computers they have is their phone, and you can edit videos on this, and you can do that, but there's a limitation. There's a bit of a limitation, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to create films and stuff, and you want to really work with things, you're going to be limited. Not necessarily you can do it, but you'll kind of be forcing yourself and finding loopholes and stuff, which is fine. As we explained before, you're finding these loopholes, you're finding these ways to work around things, and that forces you to learn rather than having things work for you. But it's nice to have a really long timeline and, be able to work with bigger things and stuff and have a lot more tools readily available. And I don't know, have a keyboard and a mouse, that stuff is a little fun. Yeah. Or it's nice to have. And, when you're given a Mac or whatever the fuck your video production class gives you, you're given a computer, an editing software, a camera, a mic. I sound like a broken record, Zach. But not a lot of people get that experience. I never even got that experience, and I've been editing COD forever, but I've never handled a camera before or a microphone before. So that taught me, even though I'd been doing editing stuff and production for a while,
Yeah.
For gaming.
That is one of those experiences that I feel like kind of tipped the scale for me, at least, for me to want to start posting my own videos on YouTube.
You should keep talking when I'm doing this.
Sorry. I was just reading what you were writing.
So they had a YouTube channel in my video production class where we uploaded all of them. I don't know what it is. I gotta find it. But yeah.
So having that opportunity to be able to have that hands-on experience, have that opportunity to be able to be in an environment where they encourage you to be creative. Obviously, there will be some type of limitation to it. But
whoa, I just got deja vu there. Sorry, go ahead. I just got weird deja vu there.
Deja vu? Having that cool moment to be able to just kind of mess around and find out. It's so cool. It's very, very cool.
I don't know if I'm finding it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's no way. It's just no, it's not happening. Okay, anyways, but if I ever find it, maybe we'll look at it another time. But there was this movie we made about a Russian mafia, and oh my gosh, it was the funniest shit. Kind of racist now that I think about it, but not really. We were just having fun, and we had a couple of Russians in our group, and we're like, let's just make like a Russian mafia thing where you guys are like the Russian mafia, and then we were a bunch of spies or something. I don't know. It's been a really long time, but we're just we're just having fun. We had cameras, and the funniest thing is that the concept, not even the concept. We were. So, okay, let me paint the picture, right?
All right.
All of us in this group, this video production class is a 1 semester thing.
Yep.
So you take the video production class, and then you can take a video production. I don't even know if it was even considered 2. Maybe video production 2. Let's just say it's like a second class, right? Or do another semester of it. And you could do that, but not a lot of people did because it wasn't really the biggest reason to. But naturally, your boy did, and a couple other guys did. So what happens is we, the second semester people, get lumped in with the first semester people in the same class because, as I explained before, it's a small class. To me, it may as well. And then you just get taught different things. What we did for our group for the entire semester, I think not the year, just the semester, we were put into a separate computer lab that, the computer lab was along with the classroom, and then there was another room into this other computer lab. It was kind of cool, this little office space, I suppose, with a bunch of computers. We got put into there, and we had one task, one project for the entire semester, and it was to make a video. It was to make a short film. So what did we do, Zach? We just fucked around for an entire semester. We just watched YouTube and just fucked around until like the last month, and we're like, oh, we should probably do something.
That's so symbolic of how that class went, though.
I feel so bad because we shouldn't have done that, because at the last month we were freaking out and we were like, oh gosh, we need to get actors, and we need to get lines and scripts and stuff. We need to shoot. We need to find places to shoot. We ended up getting to work. And to the very last minute, because one of our guys was in wrestling and he had to go to Japan, but he was one of our main actors. So one thing that we had to do, we green screened a bunch of shots. No, it was only one, and it was the shittiest green screen of all time. But it was so funny. I really want to find that video. No, it was so bad, but I have a lot of memories, tied to that video, and I think that's very important. Things like this where, people are creating content on YouTube, and they have something to document a moment in their life where they can remember how it was to create this video, how it was to edit it, how it was to shoot it. And that's the fun of making videos and making content. Everybody does it now.
Can I tell you the premise of one of the videos that I made in my video productions class?
Yes.
Okay, so
while you do that, I'm going to keep randomly searching terms until I find it.
Okay.
Because I very faintly remember what the channel is called, but not really. But it's like there, but it's not. And I feel like it's not searched enough. Sorry, Mr. Wood, but I feel like it's not searched enough and to pop up unless I get the exact name.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find it.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. So you keep going.
Okay.
I'll continue to talk as well.
Okay.
I'll be here. Keep going.
So you'll be here in spirit. So basically the video that we decided to do was, so just coincidentally, 3 people in my group were named John, right?
Yeah.
And so we came up with the idea. We were like, what if we just had this guy who would go around and kill people named John? And so it was so funny because I was...
Didn't that happen? Wait, hold on. That was a thing, wasn't it?
I don't know.
No, okay, hold on. There was a thing recently, and it was a joke. It was a funny thing. There was like some sort of convention or something.
Oh,
and then there was a bunch of Johns, and there was like the battle of the Johns, and the Johns would quote unquote battle. I don't even remember what the battle was. It was like a lightsaber fight or something like that, and to see who was the number one John. That's great.
That's right. That was last year, wasn't it?
What? I think it was last year. I remember that.
That was funny. So funny. So I did that before.
You did it.
It was cool.
You did it before. You crawled so they can run. You know?
Yeah. So basically, we decided, me and one of the 3 Johns, he and I were detectives who were trying to figure out who this killer was. And we gave him the stupidest name ever. He was Detective Kyler, John Kyler, John Killer. Funny name. So basically, it was kind of like almost. We ended up doing some stuff that was shot like third person, but we did a lot of first person stuff too, which was really fun to work on.
Sure.
And it just was kind of cool just running around with a camera screaming like a crazy person in the lunchroom at the high school. And so dude, it was so fun. And I don't even know if we finished that project because it took so long for us to shoot. Like it was probably one of the longest video projects I've like ever worked on. Because we only had a limited time when we were working on video projects for that class, and it was mostly at the end of the semester. And so it was just kind of like we were shooting for a really long time, and the concept was really cool. And then it was just kind of like, I don't know what happened to it. But that was definitely, and like I used my dad's real badges. Like I asked him to borrow some of his badges and like hip holsters for guns. Obviously we didn't have guns because we were at a school. And we were doing the whole shebang, dude. Like it was super fun. And it gave me an excuse to just wear a button-up shirt and some slacks and play detective essentially. Like that, it was so much fun. And then we did another project that I don't even really remember, honestly. I remember I modeled like pajamas for some reason for somebody's thing. I don't even remember what that was about. All I remember is Battle Cats, the game.
Battle Cats.
That's the only thing that I could remember.
Interesting.
Just because one of my buddies who I met in that class, he showed me that game, and I played it probably more than I did anything else in that class. But yeah, it's really, really fun when you get a group of people together who are just stoked to just make something. And that's why I love sitting and coming up with ideas for videos with you and all of that kind of stuff. It's because like, we can bounce ideas off of each other and then we end up coming up with something really cool. Are you texting somebody? And
I'm seeing if they can get, because I have a buddy who I think he knows the channel.
Is it a private channel, or are you going to
what I'm curious is maybe it got taken down from copyright. Hold on. Wait, 801. Wait,
that was me. Sorry.
Chrome TV. Oh my, wait, is this it?
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait, don't tell me this is it. Is this it?
Keep going.
Is it?
Keep going. That's 2 years ago, 4 years ago.
Oh, it's your boy.
Oh my God.
Wait, hold on.
Found it.
Is that it?
Wait, hold up.
I can't see it.
Hang on.
Hold on. Is this it?
That's it.
Oh my God, it's it.
My God.
Okay, bro, wait.
Oh my
this is
God.
So it.
Oh
my God.
Is there sound? Boys.
Boys.
Okay, wait. Can we turn sound
okay,
on?
we'll have a little. We'll have a moment here. We'll have a moment here.
Oh.
Oh my god.
What?
Hold on. I got it. Hold on.
Bro, we found it. What on earth? Dude.
Oh my god. Oh
Okay.
my god. Okay, hold on. I got it. Okay, here we go. Thank you. I couldn't see the I couldn't see the thing. I was hold on. Okay, now. Just make sure it's not too loud. Oh wait. Oh my brain. Sorry, hold on. I gotta go this way. Unmute the audio. And then go this way. Sorry guys. Hold on. And I have to look over here to see the. Okay, here we go. So keep in mind, this is how old is this, Zach? What does this say? I can't see it.
2017.
Okay. 27. This is. I can't grab the play ahead. There we go. This is your boy right here. 2017. I shot and directed this, or no, I shot and edited it, and then I also helped with the directing. So I did a lot of it, but that's okay. That's what I did. You know.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily. I didn't care too much about the pre or the post production, or the pre or the actual production. I was more into the post. So I was cameraman guy. I was director guy, telling where to put the light. You know, I was that guy, and I had a lot of fun. I did show up in here a couple of times, and you'll see your boy. You know, because getting actors is hard. No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to be in it at some point. But yeah, this is your boy. Let's have a time. Wait, how long is it, by the way? I don't know if you do the whole thing. The monitors are incredibly far away from us, so we can't see.
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay, do we do 5 minutes? Okay, maybe, I don't know. Let's do a little bit and we'll skip around.
Мне не нравится, что здесь получается в школе. Пожалуйста.
I'm blocking it too, so.
Мне надо с ним разобраться. Пожалуйста.
Да, босс.
It's so bad. I can't even remember. Oh yeah, so this was our principal. And the whole thing, okay, now I remember the storyline. We were just supposed to
Keep the lights off.
We were supposed to
Welcome, Principal
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit.
Who are you? What are you doing in my seat?
Shut up, Principal Drake.
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in class?
I think what was it? We're just kidnapping our principal.
I don't got any classes.
Then what do you want from me?
The boss wants to see you.
And then here we're allowed into like this kind of roof area.
Where am I?
Like in the ceiling, which was above like the janitor office.
Oh, that's sick.
Like what you are doing here at our school.
It's so cool, but it was so sketch because literally if you misstepped like over like right behind Drake, which is our principal right there, who's tied up, was like the drop ceiling.
What do you mean by connection?
So you couldn't fall through.
You will not cooperate. You will lose your job, Principal Drake.
You will lose your job because we can't say kill.
like
We can't say
my job.
die.
I'm listening.
Is this your boy? Oh, it's your boy. Look at me. It's me. 17 years old. Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
what are you guys doing down there?
Chase scene. Finding music for this, uncopyrighted music in 2017 is probably the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. I gotta say. Royalty-free music in 2017 was hard to come by. Especially like that wasn't like cringe.
Right.
Hurdle. Oh, so much action. It's so bad. But oh my gosh. Are we watching the whole thing, Zach?
Do we watch the whole thing? Oh, the first person. First person.
What is it?
This guy was so cool. I remember him.
Kidnapped. We have to tell the commander immediately.
I see.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, we'll skip through because to like a more prominent scene. Wait, hold on.
You heard that right?
Copy that.
The fish has taken the bait. I repeat, the fish has taken the bait.
The fish has taken the
Commence
bait.
Phase 2.
Oh my god, Zach, I'm so cool. Look at your boy.
Glassesless Anuki.
Oh, this is my favorite part. This the fights the fight scenes. I love this. It was so simple and honestly, it was so amateurish. But I had so much fun filming this and choreographing it.
Oh, you should have had the knuckle cracks.
Hold on, I gotta skip further a little bit.
Commander.
It was you all along?
This is our
Why are
guy.
you doing this? You're my best man.
You'd never understand motives.
The acting.
Like, it was way far
It's so
beyond the
bad.
purpose.
Well, whatever it is, the purpose of the mob ends here.
That transition.
Sorry, the jerking was a little bit too much.
Oh, the edit. Ah,
It's
yes.
so simple.
You deserve
Oh, is that the green screen?
Drake regained control.
Let's go.
In time, the school operated just
Oh,
like
this
the
Curie.
others, as if nothing ever happened.
Uh,
The rebel commander transferred to another school, thus disbanding the rebel alliance. I mean, there was no need for it anymore, right?
There's no force to rebel against anymore. Time to strike is now.
it was so.
It was so bad, but so good.
It was. Oh my gosh. But like, okay, I had so much fun doing it. You know.
Dude, and on it, okay.
Think of it, you know?
I think that is almost more important than how good the video is. Because if you just had a time and you were just having a blast making
we
it.
were all just having a time, you know, all of
Yeah.
us. And like, I know I mentioned, we were just messing around the entire time. We're just watching YouTube in the back and like literally for the entire semester until the last month. And we're like, okay, we should probably start filming now. But even then, like the filming process, just the experience and hanging out with a bunch of people, or even if it's by yourself, you know, creating content is so much fun, you know, and seeing how creative you can get, whether you storyboard or not, whether you script it or not, just playing around with cameras and learning about things, looking up how to get a good angle and stuff. And maybe you don't understand this thing about a camera, looking it up, this whole learning process. And, you know, we seen it, you know, and when the cabbage started to happen and everybody was live streaming and making podcasts and YouTube videos and everybody was getting into it because it was just something to do.
Yeah.
And it's just, and they, you know, we learned like, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to play around with these things that we grew up watching, you know, we grew up watching YouTubers and streamers and stuff. And now we're so easily able to do so with our camera phones. Phone camera. Sorry, that was the most boomer thing I ever said in my life. With our phone cameras, you know, with our
you kids and your
gadgets, your gadgets and your gizmos. Your cameras, you know, on their phones and we all have laptops and PCs now. If you're a kid, you know, because that's how it goes. You're gaming. You got an Xbox. Xbox can stream straight to Twitch and YouTube.
Yep. So can PS4.
So can PS4s and maybe not Switches, but you know, there's maybe actually, I'm not sure. I haven't looked too much into Switches, but it's so easy to get yourself onto the platform. And even if you're streaming to 1 to 2 people, to 0 people, to your homies, to your mom, your dad, it's fun to see it. And then you look back and then you go back into the VOD and you kind of scrub around. You're like, ha, look at this thing I made, you know? And it sounds so weird, but it's so fun to do, Zach. It's so fun to create content. It's fun to see what you made. It's fun to learn your mistakes and it's fun to correct it. And it's fun to produce something you're proud of. And then you get that, and then that moment where you get feedback on it.
Yeah.
You get some comments on it. Whether it's on the actual video or from your friends or something, like, hey, that was a cool vid. Maybe try doing this, try doing that. Or hey, I'm a camera nerd. You should try trying this or whatever. Hey, I'm a lighting nerd. Maybe hey, I'm a gaming nerd. You know, maybe you should play these games. Maybe you should change these settings so that way you have more frames. So when you're
yeah,
it's so much fun now. There's so much. It's so easy. It's everybody's doing it, you know. And there's back. Okay, I don't mean to, you know, kind of generalize at this point, but you know, when we were growing up, the girls and stuff, the women's, they're not really gaming and stuff, you know, not very much. At least that's kind of the stereotype of what they don't, of, you know, things that they don't do. It's how we grew up. It's just what happens, you know. It's whatever. But as a lot of things are, it's changing now, and you see girls, you know, gaming and stuff. And I have, you know, friends that are girls, and they're like, hey, you know, you play. Back when Among Us was cool, like, you play Among Us. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You know what that is? And then they're like, yeah, you want to get on my, let's play sometime. You know, I'm on Discord. You're on Discord? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that sounds so, I know it sounds really bad, but that's just how it was when we grew up, you know? It's not, obviously it's not something that I believe in. And frankly, I'm in a culture where it would sound like I would believe in that thing because men in my Laos culture and in a lot of Asian cultures, that is, there's still that kind of men and women type of what's the word? I guess roles. Yeah. The gender roles that still exist, and that'll change over time, and we're seeing that change, and it's cool to see. But that's just kind of how it was back then, when we were kids. It's and whether you hate it or not is whatever, But it's changing now, and that's good. And it's just a lot of people are just interested in the thing in hand, the thing that's surrounding the world right now, tech, content, media.
Dude, okay, I remember back in the days, back in the MW2, MW3 days, when you would hear a girl with a microphone, it was like you saw a fucking unicorn.
Oh my gosh.
It was the craziest thing ever. And now, you go on Twitch and you see a bunch of girls just killing it. And I'll bet you they're a hell of a lot better at fucking Valorant than I am. And I'm like,
let's go, dude. Queen. Yes. Let's go. Chase that bag, sis.
Yes, queen.
Yes. Have a time, Things are changing. Make content. Just try it out, And obviously, as we've explained before, not everybody's an entertainer.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I like to rephrase that, Zach. I think anybody can learn to be an entertainer. Because in the same way that you can joke around with you can be like a mundane person, but around with your friends, you could pop a joke and they'll laugh at it.
Yeah.
Because it's all about finding the comedic timing. It's about execution, and it's about knowing how to do it. That's what execution means. There's a lot of factors into it that is a little different than real life. So you just have to learn it.
Yeah.
How do you learn it, Zach? You make some videos, you stream, you put it on YouTube. You have some time. You have a time. You cut down your highlights and think, I made this joke in my stream, but it wasn't that funny. I feel like it could be funnier if I did there is nothing. When I made my 2HC videos, I'm sorry, I keep bringing it up because I'm a pretentious asshole, Zach. I'm a narcissistic dick, I'm a douchebag. But I keep bringing it up because it's been so long since I've had so much fun editing a video, because it was my own video and I streamed it. And it was a very long time ago, but my humor hasn't really changed since then. I'm pretty consistent as far as humor goes. But I knew what jokes I wanted to make, and I executed it perfectly. And I'm like, all right, because I did it like this, I can now edit it this way, and editing your own content, after you get past the barrier of looking at yourself for a long time and listening to your voice, and after you're used to your voice, and that's a hard thing to do. Getting used to your voice is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Something that some people still aren't good at. But when you are used to your voice, you press past that barrier, you now have this open world of, I know exactly how I want this video to be. While I was making this video, while I was streaming, I was already imagining in my head how I wanted it to be edited.
Right.
So now I can just have a fun time. I have an hour or two of footage. Let's just go through it. Let's cut through it. And let's go back and listen to the stream I did and kind of remind myself of how much fun it was and the jokes I cracked. Or if you're making YouTube videos and you're filming it, you're not streaming it, you get this experience of production and saying lines and stuff, and then cutting it. Okay, cool. Or pausing the camera, doing another cut somewhere else, maybe shooting B-roll if you're that into that,
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And before, like I said, the only reason why you do that is for video production. But it's changing now. Video production is also YouTube video.
B-roll has been so integrated into a lot of people's videos nowadays.
Yes.
Like a lot of people who do
I did it.
lives.
I never do B-roll. I did it in my 2HC video because I bring it up again, Zach, because I'm narcissistic. I'm a dick.
Narcissistic.
Dick stick. Me. Your boy.
Mick.
Yes. B-roll.
Dude, you see so many different things that are so common now in any type of video production, like B-roll, like, 3-point lighting, like a whole bunch of different things like that. Look at this! It's 3-point lighting.
We did it. There's 3 of them.
Well, there's like
5 of them actually, but
yeah. 6 actually.
6.
But you look at all of these really, really cool things that people are just putting into their vlogs.
Yes.
Dude, Casey Neistat. Okay.
Oh, dude, yes.
So I want to go on a Casey Neistat tangent
Let's
because
go.
I haven't had a chance to talk
Zach
about
has
him in a
not
long
had
time.
Zach hasn't had a chance to talk. I've stolen the floor after showing this amazing video I made, 17-year-old Anuki. It is time for Zach's Corner. Everybody's favorite. We need to have a jingle. Ba-dum-ba, Zach's Corner.
I feel like that's going to get...
Ba-dum-ba,
Zach's
Zach's
Corner.
Corner. Ba-dum. Ba.
Anyways.
Ba-doom.
So Casey Neistat has done so many things for YouTube in general.
Yes.
Because he started as a filmmaker. Like he started making movies on his random point and shoot cameras and all of that fun stuff. And then he was like, you know what? I want to make a movie every single day. And then he started his vlog, and he vlogged for like 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And the fact that he was able to not only make the quality of videos that he did, but also just the sheer quantity, like recording, editing, uploading every day on a constant grind. Like that's absolutely insane. And he set the precedent for what can potentially be done in a vlog type situation and even in a YouTube video type situation, because he was able to do so much with so little. The reason why I got my Canon 70D was because of Casey Neistat, because he used that camera when it first came out as his vlog camera. He bought like 5 of them.
Yes.
He would go through them bitches like thumbtacks. Thumbtacks? Tic Tacs.
Tic Tacs.
Thumbtacks. I don't know.
Thumbtacks. Those right there.
Yeah. Push pins, thumbtacks. Anyways, so he used that camera and I saw the stuff he was able to do with it. And I thought, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the point to where he's at, because I don't have that background knowledge and I don't have that history of making movies and doing all those types of things. But I can make something. And then I started making videos even before that. Like I started shooting videos on my phone. And then I was like, this sucks. And then I got my Canon T3i and I was like, well, this sucks. And then I got my Canon 70D and I was like, all right, cool. And then I still proceeded to make like 4 videos in 2 years. But you know, it is what it is. But it's just so crazy how he was able to start with just him and a camera and a dream. And then he worked with Samsung. He worked with so many different big companies. He was traveling all over the world and he was just doing all this crazy shit. But it all started with him just wanting to make content. And then he was like, you know what? I think I'm going to make content every day. And then he was like, I think I'm going to make content every day that slaps every single time. And then he was like, I'm going to go and get pulled by a Jeep in New York City in the snow on a snowboard. We were like, all right, dude, do it. And then he became like the most popular vlogger on YouTube. And it's just like, that's so fucking wild.
Anybody can do that.
Anybody can do that. I think that was the point that I was trying to make. I got lost in the sauce for a second there. But anybody can make the types of videos that he made or make similar videos if you dedicate your time to it and learn the craft and learn how, you know, if you're trying to make videos that are similar to Casey Neistat's, you know, like the time lapses and like all of the city shots and all of that fun stuff, learn it, master it, and do it. Like that's the coolest thing. And, you know, when I started streaming probably around Cabbage. I think it was like,
as a lot of people did.
I think it was around like March, April of 2020. And so it took me a long time to get to a setup that I was happy with. And now I've figured it out. I figured out all my lighting. I figured out audio stuff. I figured out how I want my camera to look, where I want it to be, all of that. You know, it's been a slow progression over the course of the last like year and a half, but I've learned it, I mastered it, and I executed it. I'm not going to say that I mastered it, but you know, I've gotten to the point to where I can reliably get the same outcome every time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a fine line between mastery and I don't know if efficiency is the right word, but being able to do it a vast majority of the time and have the same outcome. So if, say for example, you're doing a transition in a video, right? First, what you do is you copy and paste it from somebody else, right?
Yes.
You're like, oh, this is a super cool transition. Like, I wanna be able to do this. And so you copy paste every single setting. I did the same thing when I was editing pictures, right? So you do that, and then once you become a little bit more familiar with it, then you use the video as a reference, and you know you start to try to adjust those settings yourself, and then you get to the point to where you don't need the video anymore. You don't need to have a reference to where their settings were. You know how to do it the way that they did it, and now you're starting to make it into something of your own. And that is what I would consider almost I feel like mastery is the wrong word.
I think mastery is more like mastery is a very loose term because it's mastery is something that if you can tell if someone is a master at something, but it's something that they don't claim. At least not until someone else claims it themselves, I think.
Yeah.
Unless there is a certain like certificate or something. I don't know, because I mean, I've been editing and working in After Effects and stuff for like 6 years, and I wouldn't consider myself a master at it because there's still more to learn.
Yeah.
And there's still more to learn about everything. Because like I said, after Effects, you can learn every single button and keystroke and feature on there. But then you look at other avenues, you know, like the psychology and audience and viewer perspective and design elements.
Yeah.
There's too much to know on a certain one thing to be considered a master at something, or to be considered a master at something, I suppose. But you can be very good at it, and you can, I think, the moment you are given a blank slate and you're able to create something without even second thought, I think that is mastery.
Yeah.
I think that without having to look, I mean, you can, you know, without having to look anything up. Other than maybe, I don't know, how do I get my laptop battery to stay on? I don't know, fucking, you know, some random shit, you know?
Google Images.
Google Images to bring some pictures into your blank slate.
Gotta get the JPEGs.
Gotta get the JPEGs, the PNGs, the Pangeas.
The pings.
The pigs, you know? The pings. Once you're able to start on a blank slate and create something, I feel like that's what's considered mastery. Does that mean does that mean everybody who has mastered this is on the same level? No. I think mastery is a point. Mastery is a point that you reach, and then from that point, it's just free game.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just wherever you want to go. I think I've hit this point because in that 2HC video, I did that. I started in a blank slate on a new software I've never touched before.
Yeah.
And I created something in a 2-hour window. You know, I have hit this point. Do I consider myself a master? Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a master because there's much more to learn. I think I've hit mastery. And now I've reached into this open area.
Yeah.
It's a tube, a funnel. But instead of going down the thing, you're going up it.
Yeah.
You're going up the thing, and then it shafts outwards. Is that the right word? I don't know. And it's just free game. It's free real estate.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want.
It's free real estate.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You learn whatever you want. You take whatever branch you want. Just learn psychology. Learn audience. Learn social media. Learn marketing. Learn it all.
Yeah.
Learn cooking. I don't know. Cooking's probably in there somewhere. Who knows? Getting a balanced meal while you're editing. Who knows? The world is your oyster at that point.
Yeah.
At that point, after you've done all the learning, you sat there through hours and hours, whether it's school, whether it was through YouTube tutorials, whether it's by yourself, you've hit that point. This point of mastery. And does that mean that doesn't mean that You are now the greatest of all time, the best like no one ever was. Now, all it is what else?
Yeah.
What else can I do from here on?
It's not a I'm done learning.
No.
It's a what's next? What is next for me to learn that I can implement into this thing that I've spent so much time working on? And I love just sitting and thinking about that in my own life, because there are a lot of things I've spent a lot of time on.
Mhm.
There are a lot of things that I've put a lot of time and effort into trying to learn and get to that point where I can implement it into anything.
Mhm.
And that is, once you've kind of hit that point where it's like, all right, the world is my oyster now, I can literally do whatever the hell I want with this. That's when you really start to feel that limitless level of creativity where you can just do whatever the hell you want, and the only thing that's stopping you is what's in your brain, what you can come up with. And I think
the only thing that can stop you is fatigue.
sleep deprivation, that's definitely one of them. But it's such a very fascinating point, and I love sitting and thinking about what I can do to get better at the things that I do, because I love creating things. And that's something that you and I have very much in common, is we both love creating things with our own two hands and our own noggins. You know, it's such a weird, wait, hold up, do that again. Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't switch over to you. It's such a really, really cool and satisfying, gratifying experience to be able to have nothing. You know, like when we went out to go shoot those pictures, it was like all we had is a shirt, a hat, and a dream. And my camera.
and a couple more articles of clothing.
Yeah. And so it was kind of like,
He said and a dream. Sorry, that's fucking stupid.
I had to do it to him, man. I had to.
But yeah, you're right. You know?
Yeah, you and I just kind of went out, had a time, and we were like, how are we gonna do this? I don't know. Let's figure it out. And then we went to the waterfront, and you know, we had a time. It was fucking raining the entire time.
Yeah.
It was great. And then of course it cleared up right when we were getting ready to leave, so that was fun. But look at what came out of it. You know, we were able to get some good pictures. I mean, I wish we could have been there for longer, because there were a couple that I was kind of like, oh.
Well, you know, you're always gonna say that.
Yeah.
You always do that. Even if you did get those pictures, even if you did fix those pictures, then you would say something else. No, that part was kind of, you know.
Yeah. But it's still so exciting when you're at the end of it, and like you look at the stuff that you've made. And I think the first moment I ever really experienced that was when I printed out that canvas for my mom of Multnomah Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And I just randomly snapped this picture, right? I was trying to get a picture of both of the falls with the bridge, you know, the most iconic picture that you could get at Multnomah Falls. And I was trying to snap that picture. I caught that perfect one. And I was going through editing pictures, you know, doing my thing. And I was like, holy shit, I got it. But then what? I have this shot, right? This perfect picture. But it's what I do with it that's going to determine whether it's going to be good or great. And so I probably edited this picture like 3 different times, like 3 entirely different edits, because I wasn't sure. And then I ended up with the one that I ended up getting the canvas print of. And I was looking at this canvas today, like before I came over. I was just sitting there looking at it, and I was like, I am so fucking proud of this picture. And when you can sit back, and obviously there's going to be those things that you would like to change, you know, there's those things that you would want to tweak, or, you know, whatever, with the power of hindsight, with the power of, you know, this picture was taken over 2 years ago. obviously I've improved a lot since then, and obviously I've learned and grown a lot since then. But being able to look back 2 years later and sit there and say, I am so proud of this picture, or I'm so proud of this video, I am so proud of this thing that I created myself with the facilities and utilities that I had, like that is the most satisfying thing that you will probably ever experience, or at least that I have ever experienced, you know?
Yes. I think that's the reason why I still do Call of Duty editing. Despite me kind of on it at this point in my time, and you know, as everybody knows, I've kind of ventured into different things. But the reason why I'll still pick one up is just simply because, you know, it's what I made my name out of, and of course I love to do more things. And eventually, I know that's not going to be the thing I do. But until that happens, I'm going to keep doing it until, you know, there's no reason to do it anymore. But I still do it because I enjoy the feedback. I enjoy making something and then seeing everybody freak out about it. Like, oh, that was so cool. You did a great job. And then seeing the comments and seeing the, you know, I guess the views, I guess, you know, that plays a factor into it, even though it doesn't matter at the end of the day to me, but it's still a number. And, you know, YouTube pushes it right in front of your face. So I have no choice but to look at it.
Yeah.
But, you know, all these things, the feedback is what gets me the most. Seeing comments of saying I did a good job, people letting me know I did a good job. People letting me know I might have done a bad job, or maybe, hey, you should have done this or that. Seeing someone look at what I made,
yeah,
and providing some sort of response to it,
right,
positive or negative, I get a thrill from that.
I definitely do as well.
Something that, I mean, it's the same thing as, like, let's say you work your shitty 9-to-5 job. No offense, but you probably hate it. And you know, you finally do something and your boss was like, good shit. Maybe not in those words, or maybe in those words. And you're like, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
And obviously different circumstances, you still probably hate your job. But you do that and you're like, let's go.
Serotonin.
Let's go. That little bit, you know? And
yeah,
it has to do with kind of human interaction, you know? And although this YouTube thing and this Twitch thing and stuff is more digital, it's still YouTube. It's still human interaction.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, behind that username is another human. And that human typed something to you. And you typed something back to that human. Or humans. Typing ones and zeros to each other, of which to encode into different ways that we can perceive it in a better understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like our language, English, or another language, Nippon, Nihongo. So I still enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I think, look, you don't have to hit this masterclass, this mastery that I was mentioning.
Yeah.
To enjoy editing, to enjoy video editing, to enjoy content creating. You don't need to do that. I think at a certain point, you can do a bunch of it and you be happy with it. And you're like, let's go. You know what? This is about it. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my other thing. I'm going to go into culinary. I always use cooking as my secondary, as my example career every single time. Culinary, or I don't know, makeup guru or some shit. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
You do that, but now you have this skill set under your belt that is going to put you over the edge of someone else one day.
Yeah. And there are so many different avenues that, especially with video production, photography, editing, you know, even sound design, those types of things that are all encompassed into content creation. There are so many different things that you can do with that. And even with me in photography, I've been able to have so many different opportunities with my job, with other hobbies that I have, that I've been able to implement this thing that I've spent so much time and energy into trying to get to that state of mastery, that I can just run around with my camera and just be like, yeah, let's go. I'll take pictures of your dog, you know, let's have a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't explain that moment when, for me, like when I'm running around shooting pictures, whatever it may be, and straight out of the camera, like I just show them one of the pictures I took, and they're like, dude, that's fucking sick. Like, I can't explain that. I can't explain the way that makes me feel when I'm able to show someone something that I I did that. Something that I did, and they're like, wow, that's fucking cool. And I like it just makes my heart super warm. It just makes me super happy. And you know, I do it as much for other people as I do it for myself, because if there's a way that I can make someone else's day, make someone else happy while I'm getting the same type of reaction from it, you know, it's a win-win type situation. And I think that that's very similar to what you were talking about with like those comments where it's like, wow, that was super fucking sick. And I mean, that's because they are super fucking sick, by the way. I'm pretty sure I've watched like almost every single edit that you've ever put out.
Thank you.
And you know, it's definitely been really cool to see that progression and see you grow as an editor, and not only in your Call of Duty stuff, but also the stuff that you do, you know, talking face type stuff, like the IRL stuff. I think that that's really cool. And to be able to see that progression and be able to see those times when you're really having fun with it, like I can tell. Like that 2HC video that we've been referencing a whole bunch, by the way, link down below. It's probably not going to be linked, but it's in his channel, which is also linked down below.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
You can tell that you're just having so much fun with it, or at least I could, because you're like, you hadn't even finished editing the video. You had just finished that intro section that was scripted, and you're like, Zach, I need to show you this.
Yeah.
and I watched it, and when I was done, I was like, dude, that is fucking hilarious. I love every second of that. And I'm gonna sit here and hype you up because you're hyped. You know, like I want you to feel like you're super excited about this thing that you're doing, that you're working on, that you're striving to get better at. Like, you know, I want to feed you nothing but positive vibes, because I'm like, yeah, dude, fucking do it. Like the stuff that you come up with is just so cool. But anyways, I'm done trying to stroke your ego.
Oh, thank you. My ego is so erect right now.
But anyways, when you do that thing that you're really passionate about, and you're able to share it with the people around you, and they're able to understand the amount of work that you put into it, and they can also enjoy it as well, that is the most unexplainable feeling, you know? And whether it's comments on a YouTube video or you know, someone coming up to you and being like, that's a really fucking cool picture. Or like that was a really fucking cool picture video.
That was
dude.
Hey, that was a
Dude.
good salmon you made, bro. You know?
Are you hungry?
Nah, this is my number one career, random example career.
Dude, it was so funny. I was at the skate park the other day.
Yeah.
And a little kid who was at the skate park. So Andy, he makes YouTube videos, and I film a lot of his videos just because I'm around. And I had a little kid come up to me, and he was like, you film Andy's videos, right? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. And I was like, yeah, I've filmed like, you know, 80% of the videos that are on his channel. But it's just so cool to get that type of recognition, like especially being the guy behind the camera, because that's kind of like always what I've done. I've always been the guy behind the scenes who works on stuff, and you know that feeling,
of course,
because it's like people knowing, like, that's the guy, that's the dude, bro man, that's the dude bro man who filmed that video that was really cool. I think that's really, really awesome. Or like, oh, that Call of Duty edit, Anuki edited that. Of course he did, because it was a fucking banger.
No, I understand. It's gonna be a while. I know a lot of people, a lot of editors in my space, even editors that I look up to, who are like, you know, I've been doing it for a while. I'm already doing new things. I'm going to school for other things, but the one thing I can never do is put down Call of Duty editing.
Yeah,
I'll keep doing it. I won't be as fast as I used to be. I won't be as maybe the quality won't be as good as it used to be back when I was grinding this shit 24/7, you know, but it's something I still do, and it's something I still have fun doing.
Yeah.
You know, Zach, trying to think, do I enter this or not? I think I do. just a little bit, just for a little bit, because it started to tie in a little bit with what we were talking about having a little broad, but having a fulfilled life, I suppose.
Yeah.
And there was this anime I rewatched actually, and it's called Angel Beats.
I've heard of this.
You've heard of this anime, okay? And a lot of people listening right now, they just like screamed audibly. They screamed audibly. They paused the video and they went, "Ah!"
You're just like, son of.
I know we've gone on for a while, but I rewatched this literally last night.
Okay.
Actually, 2 nights because I split it into 2 because I was really tired. It was like 7 in the morning. I was like, okay, I'll finish it the next night. So Angel Beats, and I'll do my best to not go too long, but I also have a lot to say. And I also can't go too long either because you haven't watched it, so I don't want to, whether you watched it or not, I don't want to go too detailed, of course.
Yeah.
But I'll speak vaguely in a way that you can still watch it without being spoiled. Basically, what happens is, quick synopsis, a guy wakes up and, okay, before I go that, so it's made by Angel Beats, the story is made by Key Visuals.
Okay.
Who you may have heard of. I think I orgasm about them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they're a game developing company or a store, just they do the story. Sorry, I don't know. I haven't really jumped into the game realm yet.
Mm-hmm.
The visual novel type realm yet. I will though, because I feel like that's only a natural progression of myself.
Yep. You haven't reached your true form yet.
I have not yet. No. I haven't reached Buff Pikachu yet. So if you don't know Key Visuals, you watch a couple animes here and there. Let me throw a couple names. A recent one, Kami-san no Nihati, or The Day I Became God. That was a very recent one that aired a couple seasons ago, I think. Very good. Here's another one you may know, Charlotte. And here's another one maybe Zach might know, Clened.
I'm gonna watch it.
Not yet. I'm not allowing you yet. You have to ask me first, and I will let you know when you're allowed to, because that single anime will ruin every other anime you ever watch. You have to be prepared. Oh, you already on me. Okay, so, Key Visuals done a lot of things. I'm trying to. Those are some names that I've watched, so we'll go with that. And basically, the premise of Key Visuals is that it's always a sad story. It's always very depressing. Very depressing. It's a tearjerker every single time. But the reason is because it makes you think. There's always a certain underlying theme for every single show or, I suppose, game. And that theme is there the entire time, but it's also washed with comedy and fun times and laughing, ha ha ha, and look at these characters, ha ha ha. But there's always this constant that you kind of forget sometimes that is there. But it brings itself back towards the end. And then you're like, oh, fuck. Like, for example, for Kami-sama ni Natsuhi, which is the recent one, The Day I Became God. I mentioned to you this before. This is one of the, ironically, one of the reasons why I decided to make such a frivolous decision to take a break from school. It was from an anime, Zach. Part of it was from an anime. And the reason is because it was also about kind of living your life to the fullest. Because what the premise was, and I think I explained it before, this random girl comes up, talks with this guy named Yuta, and she says the world is going to end in 7 days or 30 days or something like that. It's been a while. Can't remember. And then she proves that she is some sort of spiritual figure by predicting the future. Like things like she predicted like who's going to win in a horse race and all these sorts of stuff, and basically she does this and stuff, but she keeps trying to push it. But the guy and all of his friends and stuff, they're not really like, yeah, sure, whatever, that world's going to end. But even though they keep doing it, even though they have this underlying theme, and every single time the episode ends, it has a countdown to how many days are left. But still, throughout the entire show, it's just a bunch of happy stuff and it's a bunch of fun stuff and them just doing a bunch of random shit and having a time. And then towards the end, it gets fucked. And that's all I'm going to give you. So Angel Beats is about a guy. He wakes up into this world that he's unfamiliar with and he has amnesia. He doesn't remember anything. And he's immediately told by some girl with a sniper rifle, classic, that you died and you are currently in between afterlife the life and afterlife right now. And you're here to fight. because the reason why you're here is because the life you led was unjust. The life you led was unfair. You felt like you needed more, and the way you went out was wrong. So you're here in this life to fight because you don't want to go out that way. Because, and it starts to tackle a little bit of more challenging things like Buddhism and God and stuff. But not terribly much, not enough, I suppose, that would steer someone like that away. But in a way that gives you a frame of reference of why they're fighting, because you lived this unjust life, you hated your life or something, and you felt like there was more to you, and you are put into this world, and if you conform to this world, this society, then you will move on to the afterlife or whatever that may be, and you will be reincarnated into something. But what they're afraid of, these people, these kids that are in this world right now, is that you can be reincarnated into anything. A barnacle, a tentacle, a cat, a sheep, a bee, an insect. You're not going to be another. There's like a 1%, not even chance of being a human again. Are you going to take that chance? Or are you going to fight? And so that's what they did. This is a group of kids who kind of formed this little battlefront, this type of army, and they just kind of fought. They fought death. They fought afterlife. And it's very cool and it's very interesting. And the entire time you're watching it, that theme is still there, but it's also them just being high school kids and fucking around and doing crazy things and holding guerrilla concerts in the school and just having a time. And it's so much fun. But then you kind of realize that the reason why they're there is because they had a bad past, and you start to learn the past of everybody. You start to learn why, like one of the characters, and this isn't a spoiler because it's like episode 2. One of the main characters, a girl with a sniper rifle. The reason why she's there is because robbers entered her house, and it's fucked. They told her, as the oldest sibling of four total, she had 4 younger siblings, they're going to hold them hostage, and every 10 minutes they're going to kill them. So I want you, as the oldest, to look around and give us something valuable that we can leave. And you can imagine what happened. And these type of stories persist with every person because it's a fucked life. Abuse in the house, abuse at home, and stuff like that. Lives that I don't want to move on knowing this was the life I had.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what I wanted. So I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to move on to the afterlife. I'm going to rebel. And that was the premise of it. But as you move forward, you kind of start to accept how your life was. And that's what this guy who just came in, the main character, right, is trying to convince everybody, because he found out the way he died. He had amnesia, again, like I said. And he found out the way he died, and it was tragic. And he was like, that's fucked, But then he started to remember again the reason, more details about how he died, and then realized, even though my life was shit, it was still my life, and it's something that I need to treasure. It's something that I put hard sweat and tears to produce what I did. And even though it was unjust, and even though things were terrible, I still fought in that life to do what I could. And that was my life, and I need to be proud of it, and I need to accept that. And then he's just trying to convince everybody the same idea. And towards the end, it kind of gets a little rushed because it's only 13 episodes and it's a whole visual novel. But it's okay. After you get past that fact, it's heartbreaking, But it's like this idea of it's your life, and sometimes things that you do is wrong, and sometimes things happen that you have no control of, and it's fucked. And you understand why these people wanted to rebel. They don't want to go into the afterlife knowing this was their life. So you kind of learn that the reason why they're in this world is to kind of redo life and kind of obtain this fulfillment that they missed. And then after they obtain this fulfillment, they can move on, I suppose. And that's what the premise of Angel Beats is. And it's very sad. Oh boy, did I cry. This is my rewatch, Zach, and I cried. I cried at the same exact spot I cried the first time I watched. The same exact episode. The same exact arc. And it was when that protagonist found out about the reason why he died. And I was like, man. And I started crying. And then after that, there's infamous scenes, and it's like, you learn about this one girl who has been freaking crazy this entire time, and she's been like this kind of gung-ho character, but you find out the reason why she's so gung-ho is because in her previous life she was paralyzed and now she can move and walk and she's been trying to experience all sorts of things. You're like, and then she wants and it's like, oh god. I do recommend watching it. And even though everything I said and I've ever mentioned, there's still way more to it, and I think it'll be a good watch. I can't watch it with you, I'm sorry. I just finished rewatching it and I'm kind of going through it. She's currently my AVI in Twitter, like that's what's going on. But the reason why I bring this up at the end of the day is because there was this one character who led a terrible life, or was led a terrible life, and she was a musician. Or rather, she had an abusive household, and she lived in like a 2-room apartment or some shit like that. And whenever her parents are fighting, all she can do is crawl up into a corner and in a ball, But music saved her life. She went into like these type of demo playing things, put on headphones, and then there was this one band that talked about a similar life she had. And she was saying how that band, that artist was crying for her, was, expressing the emotions that she felt, and she wanted to do the same thing to other people. So she got a guitar, she learned guitar and stuff like that. And the way she died was absurd. It was super stupid, And she entered this world. And she created a band and just did band shit, did performances for the students in the school, and it was great. But the reason why she didn't move on is because she wanted to keep doing it. But then at some point she did a final song where she kind of fought the life that she had and said it was, even though this was a life that I led before I entered this world, it was my life and I'm happy about it. And then she proceeded to move on. And it's tough because, when you have you really do understand why these kids rebel. You understand that this is not the life they want to lead to the afterlife,
Mm-hmm.
So, and even though you're watching this and it's a bunch of funny moments and everyone's flying and there's a bunch, all the characters are funny and quirky and stuff, and it's a lot of fun, but you kind of forget the reason why they are there and the reason why they don't want to proceed from that world. And the reason, and towards the end, you have to understand that acceptance of the life that you led. And that brought me to the reason why I brought it up is, one, because it's fresh in my mind. I need to fucking talk about it, otherwise I'm going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to be a number one content creator, a number one video producer, number one YouTuber, number one streamer to obtain a satisfaction of what you did. Like, I can be this Call of Duty editor, and I may not be the best of all time, but I'm happy with what I created. I'm happy with what I did. I have no regrets. And then at that point, you can move on to something else that you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not? And it sucks. It does. It really does suck. Wish you can do this. You wish you can do that. But as we've explained many times, life just moves on. It doesn't care for you. Get fucked.
Get fucked.
So it's all about kind of taking the life for what you have, and don't, even though it's shit, it may be shit. Everybody's circumstance is different. But what that anime taught me was, even though your circumstance was bad in life, you had something that you were proud of at some point. And you had something that maybe could have helped other people. Maybe it helped yourself. Something that you produced, something that made you happy, something that made others happy. Something that you can say, I did this. This is me. I made this. I did this. I said this, And if you are able to do that, and if you are able to do that, whether it's for yourself or for others, then that's awesome. And you should be proud of that. And obviously, it's death, it's a hard thing and it's going to be controversial and everybody will have a different take. But I really recommend watching Angel Beats, honestly, just to kind of get a perspective on, not necessarily afterlife, but another perspective on afterlife, I suppose. And it's not going to be your new religion. It's not going to do anything like that. No. It'll more so add another perspective to the religion that you may be a part of or maybe not a part of. You know, you can believe in afterlife if you want or not. It's whatever, you know? You can believe in reincarnation if you want. But one thing is for certain, death is a fact. And it's always a question, what happens after death? You just enter a void? Do you get reincarnated? Do you enter heaven? Do you enter hell? And that's not a question I can answer. Nobody can answer that. But I think that anime just kind of gives another light to something to think about, I suppose. Like I said, whether you believe in that stuff or not, it's just something to think about because death is a fact. So give it a watch. You know, Zach, I'll let you. You can watch it with Brittany if you want, your girlfriend, and you can have a cry. I think it's on Netflix. Otherwise, you could use my Crunchyroll. You'll find it in my recently watched. You'll find it, you know.
I don't know if that would be a good watch for me to do with somebody else, but I have totally been using your Crunchyroll, and also I finished Parasite.
You did.
I did.
You snapped me when you did. And you're like, you should watch it. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. But I already said I was going to. I didn't say I was not going to, you know. And frankly, if I cannot give you the promise of being able to watch it, even with you next, because it's like, I have too many other things to do. And if I mean, that's like, hey, Anuki, why aren't you watching Jujutsu Kaisen? Well, because this person said, why aren't you watching Demon Slayer? Well, why aren't you watching My Hero Academia? Well, because this person told me to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, oh, what do you want me to do? You know? So I'm getting to it. I'm getting there. And after watching Angel Beats, it reminded me of how much I enjoyed watching anime. I still can't just sit there and binge it, but I can have a time. And I'm thinking I'm going to keep watching anime and getting back into it, rewatching shows. I think I had no reason to rewatch Angel Beats. I was just on my bed, on my phone, just doing my thing, procrastinating before I go to bed. And I was like, you know what? I want to rewatch Angel Beats. Out of thin air. I want to rewatch this show.
Yeah.
This random show. I've watched tons of shows. I have more shows to watch. I just want to rewatch this one right now. Why not? And that gave me kind of like this live in the moment type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You should always care about the past and the future because it's important. But at the same time, as I've explained before, the future, the future is happening right now. 1 second ago, and here we go. The future is now here. We're in the present, you know? And, you know, the future will always happen, but you don't know what it will be until it enters the present.
Mm.
So for that type of mindset, I suppose, then care about the present more. Care about what's happening right now. If I want to rewatch this random show right now, I'm going to rewatch it. Fuck it, dude. It's 6 a.m. Fuck it. Let's go, dude. Let's fucking go, bro. Let's watch this fucking show. And I'm going to cry my heart out. And I did. And I had to wash my pillowcase because it was full of salty tears. But
yeah, that's kind of a hard wow, where did that thought go? It just went gone. Yeah, it's hard when you are so worried about the future and you are so conscious of your past. You know, like it's hard to feel like you can live in the present. But you got to, because the future waits for no one.
You're like April. Time waits for nobody. It's merciless and cool.
Yes.
It proceeds without it will move on without you if you don't move with it. I can say I want to be a billionaire when I grow up, and then a sniper bullet can come through this window and knock me.
Yeah.
That's present, baby. I didn't predict that. That would have been fucking tragic. But good comedic timing. It would have been funny for 3 seconds. You'd be like, oh, maybe not like that, but you probably panic a little bit more. But I don't know. It'd be so random that you might have been like, and then you process and you're like, oh. But, you know, what I'm saying is, obviously that's fucked, but you never know. YOLO, Drake!
Did you just say YOLO?
I said YOLO.
Anyways, thanks for watching.
Watch Angel Beats, make YouTube videos. It is a theme. You gonna yawn right now during my outro? Mm-hmm. Click on the links down below. They're important. Why? I don't know. You should click them and find out. That's all I have.
Yeah, sometimes it won't show them all, and it'll show a little like see more thing. So if you click that, then it'll just like
try it out. It's cool. It opens
really
tabs. Cool. It's cool. You should try it out. See what tabs they open.
Yeah. There's this one called Coffee where you can send us money. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can.
I just needed to talk about that Angel Beats thing. I really needed to.
Oh no,
I really needed to. And if you really want to talk about Parasite right now, I don't know. Excuse me, if you have the energy for that right now, but or if you want to
spoiler alert, I do not.
But I live in the moment, make YouTube videos, have a time.
Yeah.
Learn new things. Add things to your arsenal. Things that you enjoy. Don't do things you don't enjoy. That's fucked. Who would do that? What are you, a masochist? I mean, I am, but not to that extent. So you should just do what you want to do, I suppose. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Anything else, Zach? Would you like to say to the people?
Do what you love what you do. Like Arthur said, live in the moment. Do fun stuff. Enjoy your life. Fuck it.
Fuck it, Dad.
YOLO.
Let's go.